Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Kunza Call series, or the Pannonian Avars series, or the Greco-Radanite Avars series, or simply the Carpathian series, whichever you want to call it that's convenient for you, because it's the kind of series with many names, because of how, we decide to call ourselves, or whatever language that we speak. Even though obviously this series is in English because of audience convenience and whatnot. But let me tell you something. Last episode was action heavy due to the effectiveness of our knights, which we have kind of used them as a as some sort of special forces. As you can see, the knight effectiveness due to me being a frontline commander as part of the Better Battles mod. Chivalric dominance from training commanders by my marshal, the right to prove cultural tradition, House of Warriors dynastic legacy, as well as the court type, as we are still a warlike court, and as well as from the domain, which is particularly that military academy that we built in the duchy building in our capital, which goes to show that our knights are way more effective than any other knight in the world, which is what we demonstrated in the last episode, as that they are the elite. Even the lowliest of knights are still pretty good fighters, but obviously they still need to be improved upon, and that's what my marshal is here for, is to train commanders. And as well as a 13% chance of improving or finding a new commander or knight each month. Which again just shows the effectiveness of this sort of thing. Knight effectiveness, men-at-arms damage and toughness increases by 1%. Month up to 26%, currently 26%. Compare manageable guards, which is increased by 2% up to 52. Really? Are you sure? I mean, yeah, the knight effectiveness just went down, since we just switched to this new counselor task. This will add knights improved, and any hostile scheme towards it will be disrupted. But it says increased by 2 a month up to 52%, so I guess we'll be improving them even more. We're at peace at the moment, we're not looking to intervene in any more wars for the time being. I mean, we could have been making more, but the ruler is too generous, is the Khatun. And she does have a son, Karan, which he is a genius, but robust, but unfortunately a bleeder. But you can't win all the time. But we have successfully have 100% control of all the major parts of Croatia, save for Travunia, which is part of Dukla, which is part of the Kingdom of Serbia. Whatever mess we may get involved in, who knows? I'm thinking maybe we should just fight, just this tiny part here, because I don't like how Crimea is kind of disconnected like that. I mean, one little war ain't gonna hurt anybody. But I guess someone's already doing that. One of my vassals are fighting that kind of war. Okay, they got that handled. Don't have all of this yet, even though it's not my idea to expand through the Pontic-Caspian steppe. But if I was to expand anywhere else than that, I would say Moravia, Bohemia, and as well as Steiermark, Austria, Salzburg, Carinthia, and Friuli. Those are my ideas for future expansion. I mean, who knows? We'll probably, I mean, if it wasn't for the Pontic-Caspian seven parts of Bulgaria and Serbia and Bulgaria, I would have created the same borders as the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Maybe that's what I would have in mind. But it's kind of, you know, just ideas thrown in the head. Oh, speaking of ideas, before we will finally get on with this episode, I'm sure you've probably heard this by now, but yes, indeed, I will be starting a brand new Crusader Kings 2 series, and it will be concurrent with the Pannonian Avars series. It will still be concurrent with the Avars series, in which, just to keep up with the old Horse Lords theme, knowing that this tradition of who we are will remain with us. And so the new series of Crusader Kings 2 that's coming up on April 14th is going to be featuring the Pecheneg culture, which, are they still around? Pechenegs? Yeah, they're still around. Yeah, the Pecheneg culture, which is over there. If I was them, we would have been horse lords, swords for hire, quarrelsome, and they have a warrior culture too, and sacred hunts. That's what they have there in this time, as they're still stuck in the late antiquity. There's no progress. But that's one part of it. Yeah, I would be playing as a Pecheneg culture, but also be doing a nomadic playthrough, which of all the things that I've done in Crusader Kings 2, I've never ever done a nomadic playthrough on video, although I have done some prior practice to that government type. And what would make that series interesting much more is not only playing as the Pecheneg, but also be playing as a faith that does not get a lot of love these days. And they are still barely around in this playthrough here, and that is the Manichaeans. In CK3 here, the Manichaeans are a dualist faith. They're part of dualism, Abrahamic religion, as they are Mendicant preachers, which that was placed there when they are updated to Royal Court. They replaced Gnosticism with Mendicant preachers. And they are also adaptive and esoteric. So yes, that's what's coming up, that I would be doing a nomadic Manichaean playthrough, which is not going to be quite like those of that culture if they're still around. Oh, of course they are, but they're mixed. It's just what little remains of the old culture. That shows it. But again, that's going to be coming up on Crusader Kings 2. It's just it's not a passion project of mine, it's just, hey, let's make it an interesting challenge. How about you be a nomad, and you be a Manichaean? In a land full of Tengrists. So that'll make your life hard, isn't it? Especially with joining warrior lodges and such. And of course, coming up later in 2022, as I've mentioned a few times already, the Sogdian series, which I'm still be waiting for a flavor pack from the Rice mod, which is the same type of. Oh, it's not the. I'm having a little trouble phrasing. All right, just let me take a drink. The guy who brought you the various or very immersive events and tales mod also made a mod which has the initials Rice, which adds a flavor packs for certain parts of the world, be it in North Africa, Egypt, parts of Greece, Yorkshire, one in India, also another in Pamir. But his most recent one is is going to be in the Tarim Basin region, which they'll have flavor packet decisions and all things Tarim Basin. And he said that he's going to have a separate pack for the Sogdians as well. So I will hold off on doing a Sogdian series until then, when it comes out. And it will also be the first series that I will use the more bookmarks mod, where I plan on starting on 769 start date, which would kind of basically be like the, not exactly a remake of the Sogdian Saga series I did for Crusader Kings 2, which was one of the best I've ever done in terms of accomplishment. Not to mention the storytelling. And I want to retell that story, but here in CK3 form. Except it would be a little more realistic, in a way, in terms of cultures and the settings, and as well as historical context for all things Sogdian and peoples of the Silk Road and all that and more. But anyways, if this mouse wheel can cooperate, get down here! Anyways, so the purpose for this episode is just going to be time for pass, develop our country more, and debate whether or not that we should be intervening in other people's wars. But in the meantime, we will have our knight effectiveness start going up a bit with the managed to royal guards. As my glory is widely known, and that means another knight has joined the fray. We should look at guests. Except they're all women. Any men? No? No male guests. And also converted to Catholicism recently. Ah, perfect. Invite more knights, and I am willing to pay my money for them. For them to join the Carpathian Special Forces, as we would unofficially call our group of knights. It doesn't matter what culture, what religion you are part of, all you have to do is to be amongst the best among yourselves. Competitive cronying. Neither Sartach nor Osiriu notice as I creep closer to their boisterous holy conversation. Physical supplication is key. Every groveling-induced bruise on my knees, fresh coin in my purse. You can't just go wrong or prostrate. Nonsense. Just keep stacking adjectives in front of our title and you'll be rich till you die. If you got air in your lungs before you get to Khatun, you're doing it wrong. I cough, hushing the mortified toadies instantly. Ah yes, the Astur-Leonese culture. In fact, I want to look at that briefly. I mean, he may be my patriarch, but the Astur-Leonese culture is one of the first cultures I played as in the game. So before we make that decision, just go away for a moment. So it diverged from Visigoth from 871. That's kind of similar to what happened to me. So if it were for them, I would have had hit and run tacticians, mountaineers, and fervent temple builders. Yeah, basically. So imagine the old Astur-Leonese culture that I played as long ago from that first series with Asturias, and later that spin-off series with Bactria. Which of course it happened during the High Medieval era. So imagine these three merged in with some of the Afghan traditions. I think quite possibly would have been a win-win for the what I would have called the Ibero-Bactrian culture, or whatever I would have called it back then. And you see what I see? Hindustani culture, which is what happens when a culture of an Iranian origin that forms a hybrid culture along with any of the North Indian cultures. And so you get that. So many mixtures. But anyways, back to the task at hand. Let me see. Both of you like me very much. I would say, I see right through your manipulation, lackeys. Don't BS with me. How old am I? 43. This is going to be my last child. Hope that it'll be a daughter. Don't want another son, otherwise someone's going to be disinherited. Red hair, this sick mare. As Red Hair trudges out of the stables, dragging her legs and hanging her head, there can be no doubt the mare is sick. The stable master says there's a cure to be found for what ails her, but it comes at a hefty price. No price is too steep for my beloved Red Hair. There is no end to the options and wants for my son and heir, Karan. Half of the time he's trying to tell me what to do instead of the other way around. Formidable or aggravating. It's a fine line to walk. Just a hook. One sec. Well, welcome to the forest. Tally sticks. Two farmers living under my jurisdiction recently got into a major squabble. They were doing a business transaction and described the amounts of bartered goods on tally sticks. One farmer, however, tried to cheat the other by changing the amount of tallies on the stick. This was a stupid thing to do, as the other farmer had copies of the tally sticks made. Now that the fate of the cheating farmer is up to me to decide. Let me take a drink to decide. Knowing I'm prestige crazy, I would say he will need to pay a fine as punishment. Here's the historical context. Special sticks used to tally numbers have been used as a method of keeping records since prehistoric times. In the medieval world, where illiteracy was common, they were considered very reliable, as a testament to their importance. They were even mentioned as late as the 19th century in the Napoleonic Code, for example. Well, I plan on getting a few things from strategists. Especially with the retreat losses. Should we ever be defeated in battle, that would be grand. Degraded artifact. Sell. The servant approached me with a guilty expression on her face and something hidden behind her back. My lady, I was cleaning your artifacts collection as usual when I was in a state of utter disrepair into Giovanna's goblet. It's completely useless and unrecognizable now. You can also sell it to the scrap collector and make some gold coins out of it. Fine, I didn't need it anyway. It's a piece of crud. Now that I thought about it, since you've been making quite a bit of fortune, you should appoint new people. Oh my goodness, how do you not have that? And that. And you've been stressed lately, you need a jester. And he'll have to do. You don't even have much court position. What is the matter of you? No wonder why you've been making such good money. That's because we don't have qualified people, that's why. Night effectiveness. My goodness, you need this. think about the grandeur. Anyone else? That's it. You know, how about I recruit you? Might have some use for you. How about you be my executioner? You know you do a poor job at it. You got me a knight who is severely injured, but successful wound treatment. Well, when he gets better soon, he'll be one of the great fighters. Alright, welcome to the Force. Well, as a Catholic, now we have two holy orders that are hireable. Knights Hospitaller and Knights Templar. We can create our own holy order if we wish to, but I would rather expand around more to acquire more cities. Yes. Anyways. Where are we at this point? 24%, halfway to go. Halfway there, and then the knights will be even more deadlier. And the lowliest knight only has a skill of 14, which is considered good. But unfortunately, this is a man who really dislikes him because he wants his land back, and he's a pagan. And so does she. They come from a long line of pagans. Oh, come off it. Get over yourself. Somebody needs a job. Certainly not that man. Ah, crud. Heir only to the Khanate of Galicia Vonia? Oh, did I marry a bleeder? I did not marry a bleeder. Maybe I just have bad genes. It's just bad luck, I guess. Chorpan. That's her name. Well, now we know who gets to be the heir. One thing's for certain. You want to be the steward? No. This one does. Keep developing it. The chaos of battle. A sword strikes across my chest plate, an elbow slams into my helmet, a soldier easily avoids my clumsy counter. A mock battle rages around me, but I struggle to find my focus. I'm tempted to let my guard down as soon as the fighting lulls. I know the second assault is about to start. I'll meet the assault head on. It's 49-50% chance. My charge is awe-inspiring, showed vigor. You gained some of that lifestyle experience there. Ah, yes. Are you ready to be the Shieldmaiden? It doesn't cost money, it'll cost you prestige. Are you ready to serve your country? Send a proposal, see if she'll accept, even though it doesn't have a military education for that. And she is a Shieldmaiden. Congratulations, you are the first female knight. My daughter has that honor, in addition to being the seneschal. And as a Shieldmaiden, it's martial +3 and a prowess of +3. Jilin defies the normal structures of her society, fighting in the shield wall as though she were a man. Just look at her in uniform. My young daughter. As I said, serve your country well. You're amongst the elite warriors. And we hope that you'll keep that quick turnaround, because I should also get you married. Matrilineally, of course. With somebody with inheritable traits. To keep that well in mind. You've got to marry... Herculean. We like to have strong children. Next generation of the Kunzakals should have strong children. So that way, many of the sons and grandsons may join this elite group of knights one day. I can see that. I can definitely see it. Now let's review it again. Until we find someone better. Originally, I didn't think she would become a Shieldmaiden because of her lack of skills, but up until she got 12 prowess, and therefore she's qualified of it. And as a reminder, one more time, this is because of that cultured tradition that we picked, the right to prove. Which sounds like, well, why'd you pick that option? That's why. 9 effectiveness. And now that we have a Shieldmaiden along, and if you got one who has 12 prowess, that means they'll be up at 15. So, despite the fact that Shieldmaiden is a Northman term, we use that term describing female knight around these parts. Anyways. A renowned trainer is approaching after hearing rumors of my mighty red hair and offers her services. All I ask in return is a small compensation. If there is one thing she is lacking, it is fierceness. Red hair took her training well, and the recruits could be seen instantly. The results could be seen instantly. That was money well spent. Now, this is a fierce horse. This just adds a little more prowess and ups the advantage a little. Come on in. I'll just say it's a good effort. Just try to be nice here. One second. I'm just looking something up. Okay. Solace and script. Oh, poetry. Pangs of sadness. When such beautiful countenance is hid from sight, the pain surely feels a personal sight. Alone, bereft, without that sweet woman, our hearts, our minds, all our souls, all damned. I would say that's truly heartfelt. Now, it doesn't cost much prestige. I'm doing fine health-wise. Cut. Dog it. Pageantry of the court continues, day after day, from dawn to dusk, till an extemporizes on my greatness, sprouting platitudes and praises. Nearby, Duke Litovol joins in, playing to the crowd, grinning stupidly as an expected son of my favor for his antics. A deep, insistently desired to leave for the grounds and lose myself in exercise slowly builds, gnawing at my mind and distracting my attention. A lone bead of sweat trickles irritably down my brow. Then I notices my distance, inquiring, "Are you alright, my lady?" with almost genuine concern. Again, her in uniform. By the way, are you pregnant already? No. Because you were putting your hands like that as if you were. Oh, I'm gonna get stressed no matter what. I'll just say my apologies. You were saying? Pull yourself together. You are the Khatun. I was on the verge of going on a hunt and holding a feast. What's going on here? Peasant revolt in Verbosna. Cultural acceptance. Popular opinion lowered. Catholicism astray. Try to convert Bosnia. At least in the areas that I own. You know what that means, right? Put them in Bielina. When that peasant revolt is bring up, bring our knights. That's how we handle this situation. But, oh damn it, that it's time to hunt and feast and everything. But instead, gotta go work off some stress. This is not enough, I think to myself. I've put down a training axe, practicing non-stop, and I'm not getting tired, but I need a tougher challenge. Need something bigger, yes, or perhaps heavier. Something to tire me out. Oh, I don't want to do that to my son. He's a bleeder. He's just a child. I mean, if I were to hurt him, it would not end well for him. Wish I would have a new throne. Fine throne will have to do. I overestimate my own strength, so I just done damaged that throne. I got wounded, but I'm all better now. You know what? It's not good until next year. I mean, I have a lot of furniture, but what I need is a new throne. I mean, fine throne is fine. It's just I want a new one. Because there's no way to find inspired people. You're making a box? Have I made a mistake? Was I not paying attention? My partner, Judith, updates me on our progress, droning on about the limits of hammer and bench as my mind reels with bold ideas from my box. Creating might not be my personal forte, but that doesn't mean I can have a say on how my money is spent. Well, I have high stewardship, so I have a few suggestions. My ideas work well. Wait a minute. Dare you? Anyways, my beneficiary Judith approaches me with thoughtful expression. Is there anyone special to you, my lady? She must have read my irritation from a personal question from my face, because she continues, I mean, is there anyone you wish to dedicate your commissioned artifact who is turning out well, meaningful description, make it more personal? You know, it's a box, so to my beloved Khatun. I wonder what he would think of me. It's like, hey, this box got your name on it. That was my old sister. No, my old aunt. Now you can have a higher naval speed. My deeds are spoken of with reverence and envy the world over, from foreign courts to village taverns. And with that comes the supporters. Today, Oxy is ushered in, introduced as representing a small prior guild from Srebrenica in Verbosna. Oh, superb Khatun, my friends and I hear of a wondrous box being made for you, and wish to donate to your carpenter. It would deeply honor us, your majesty. We have saved for months. Oh, God. It is I who I am honored. Guilt and shame have been plaguing me as of late. All of my sins, my flaws, my failings, dark thoughts distract me from my responsibilities, keep me awake at night. I feel like I must do something to put an end to this mental anguish, but what could possibly help? I got no secrets, so I think it would be ideal to be contrite, even though it's going to hurt my intrigue a little bit. I must confess to all my wrongdoing. I've done some bad things in life, and I'm going to have to accept the fact. I have a guilty conscience. She already confessed. Yeah, she may have a guilty conscience, but that doesn't stop her from being the leader of the great, special forces. Bulgarian Warhammer? No, do something about it. Come and get it. Wants to forge regalia. Check first. Famed but not illustrious, so maybe I should give it a chance. Fine, shiny metal. It's too expensive, but I'll be willing to invest in this. She is very competent in her craft. So says you. Oh, twins. For Dalmatio-Croatian. What the heck? You still speak Srpsko-Hrvatski? Took up Stoic? That's actually pretty good. Anyways. You got twins, a grandson and a granddaughter. I'm looking for a name that would... Chat and Chicheki. One's a little stronger than over the other. Alright. A jewelry casket of fine craftsmanship, made plainly of worked pine. On top of the box and the lid is a capable hand-carved the patterns of a decoration known as the Pannonian Avars style. Perfect to keep jewels and religious trinkets safe inside. Just a pedestal item. And of course, a tiny but elegant description on the side dedicated to my beloved Khatun. That's a bit underwhelming in my personal opinion. I would not have that displayed. But maybe I ought to give it to somebody else. I was about to say, are we missing a pedestal item? Clearly there's been one missing. Well, what do we have in here? You got a sturdy goblet. Don't we already have that displayed here? Am I crazy? I know we got Deca Rostam. Where's the other skull? Adrian's skull. Yeah. Pastor Dagger, Pastor Sturdy Goblet. I was thinking, okay, what else is not on display? Of these pedestal items. Oh, good God, fix that. That might be useful one day for anybody with stewardship. Another skull. Just similar to this statistically. Maybe we should turn another one. Hey, can you make that into a pedestal item? And this is what it will give you. So I see. Oh, keep looking. No, 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 no. Put this on. What if we make the Andalusian mail into a pedestal item? It'll give you, especially the injury resistance of the cross. Well, what about this sword? Pursuit efficiency. Meaning those that retreat, we can kill more of them. Ups the natural dread a bit more. Or what if I were to do that with a Greek battle axe? You do keep. Uh-huh. Okay, you got it. I'll take this sword instead of that axe. Today I am observing Mayor Nani as he trains some of his new levies, but the recruits under his command resemble a disorganized mob more than an army. I look on as he struggles to gain control of the situation, clearly pushed to his limits. While it's never easy to train new soldiers, he seriously needs to do better than this. That'll teach him what I know about command. Once again, overwhelmed by stress. Replace that with that Greek battle axe. So, imagine walking in the throne like this. To your left is that Greek battle axe with that big dread gain. And then you got the dagger of Rostam. And then these two skulls. Dread, dread, dread. It just pretty much tells you what kind of ruler she is. The owner of two different skulls and two different weapons. Even though that dagger of Rostam was a weapon that was used by him a long time ago, but it was never ever used in anger. You know, so to speak, and all that. And all that and more. Now, let us continue. Advice rejected. As I tap the mayor on his shoulder, he throws his hands up and shouts, "This is not my fault. Katyatika. These idiotic peasants don't know the right hand from their left. How can anyone be expected to turn this rabble into an army? I'm disappointed in the mayor. I'm really thinking about intervening in somebody's war so I could get down to some business in the sense. You know, get these men and this one Shieldmaiden of mine into fighting shape. Just to show off their skills and all that. Because have we reached the max? Yes, we have reached the maximum for the knight effectiveness. Makes me want to intervene one of those neighboring wars. In fact, what's going on over there? Oh, good God. Tyranny? Liberty? But I'm talking about against Corinthia. No, it's the Liberty War. We were allies once. So mind if I join you? Is not your ally. Eek, scaly. How old is your one? Oh, you still got a future ahead of you. Okay, but this is gonna suck. Those inheritable traits. But I'd be willing to ally with Corinthia again. And it seems that peasant revolt that was supposed to take place in Verbosna has been calmed down a bit, whilst we try to convert the populace to Catholicism. So in the meantime, get to here, because there's clearly something going on over there that I'd be willing to intervene on this matter. I've been into a very grave-looking Candida, a metalsmith, hoping that she doesn't bring ill news of the splendid regalia that she'll soon have ready for me. Oh, there are my late. I've hit a wall on my work. Nothing major. My ideas have gone to the ground as pressure mounts last Thursday. I just need some inspiration, mighty Khatun. Might have some prior examples I could examine? Listen, you homely old woman. I know what you need. Let's go have some fun. Candida's muse flees, so just lose a bit of progress. Ah, at least it was. At least you gave it a try. Alright. Need help with anything? This Liberty War. We shall join, and I will deploy my knights over there, along with a few men-at-arms. It'll be assembled in 4 days. Of course, I'll be there too. Plus, they got mercenaries and many forces there, as intimidating as it looks, but we'll be bringing siege weapons just to help out retake that capital. Carintano Franconi. Gotcha. Ready. You will win decisively, because this is going to be fighting in friendly territory. The Crusader army is to help retake their capital. It's just a Liberty War. I just simply want to see these guys in action. And including my Shieldmaiden and first female knight. Even though she wasn't educated in the martial manner. But remember, one day, in 11 years' time, every children in our culture, especially my children, will have a knighthood trait in addition to having a martial education. That will also have increased knight effectiveness. no need for dedication. Let's go to work. We'll probably win, but we'll kill some of them before reinforcements arrive with even more men-at-arms. They got a few knights of their own, but we ain't scared. We ain't scared. Enemy reinforcements will arrive in 13 days. That was ugly, huh? It is a slaughter. That's the reason why I said it was ugly. He was slain in battle by one of them. And another one of my knights slew this man here, while both of them were in retreat. And we really gave them a beating, except for the ones that retreated. Which again demonstrates the effectiveness of the knights, especially having that council use managed role guards. All of that, including the sword that I now wield, while I keep the Greek battle axe around as a display item at the court. We never gave up our warlike traditions in that court. Here comes another. We got him. Man, I want to keep this guy, if they let me. He's a lowborn, so when we take him to friendly territory, then we shall have it. Okay, now he's here. Recruit that man. He's got talent. See what I tell you. Anything else that may concern you? Especially if it's a holy war related scenario? But what we do know is those Adamites are still causing trouble. But it's too bad that they're far away, so we can never... Oh wait, you got the... That's a Norseman. There's still pagans up there. Oh yeah, the new patriarch is a slight improvement over the old one. Knight improved. See that? They'll slowly get better and better. Consecration of Rogatitsa. Patriarch Bori excited. So, my lady, I bring words the completion of Rogatitsa's new church. The faithful of Bosna may now honor God in a place worthy of his divinity. May the Lord bless us all. Oh gosh, how much? 50? Alright. At least I'm feeling generous. An experienced fighter, you say? You got it. At first I thought a simple footman, a fool to step in on the training field, though Sam seemed no threat at first. It quickly became clear that he would be unable to stop his wild and vicious strikes from hurting me. This scenario suddenly became a matter of life and death. I tried not to show my relief when the sword finally hit the ground. I could use more people like you. Welcome to the army. Everybody wants to join. Oh no, it seems I'm falling all over again. My jester Emmerich exclaims with a comical tone, audibly face-planting on the floor. I am so clumsy. I surely hope I could stay upright this time, says Pratt, falling onto my Elena's sword. By God's nails, my luck is rotten, he giggles, Pratt falling onto my Elena's sword. After all this, not a scratch on his body. Ha! Falling without getting hurt. Impressive. I really need to go hunting later. Now you have organized march, so that way our troops, including our knights, can move a little faster. And they move even faster under winter, as I am a winter soldier, as we all know. This is ridiculous. Kagala protests. As keeper of Khatun's personal collection, I have a responsibility to ensure the quality of your work. You will see once it's finished, Candida retorts. You should leave a woman to her work when she is forging regalia fit for royalty. Kinda wasn't sure its quality. It stifles it, but it's gonna be lower quality, unfortunately. Can't win all the time, you know. Thank you. I need the money so I could start the hunt sooner or later. As I make my way to the stable, I'm greeted by happy neighs of Rena. She seems eager to stretch her legs in the beautiful weather. I can do nothing but agree. The day is too fine not to be appreciated properly. Go hunt, damn it. That gets rid of all the stress now. Nearly. Masterwork regalia. Compare and contrast. Thanks, but no thanks. The woods is truly is the mantle of the poor. As the boar flees in panic from foraging pheasants, I feel my patience is wearing thin. Sure, there must be better things than Ovalutita. And picking roots and mushrooms. Guards, driving a rabbit out of my hunting grounds. Oh gosh. Let me see. Gotta be careful with such things. It's something that just popped up for me. Not in the game, something else in real life. Come on. Refresh, damn it. It's just again, another thing. What's the development level of Visegrad currently? 21. Count Cardam is coming to Visegrad to pay me tribute. Our conquered Khatun suggests that a military display could ensure continued loyalty. Seeing your overwhelming might would make anyone think twice if trees crossed their mind, my husband points out. A regular parade should suffice. We should have a keep in future. Yeah, we had our issues. It's just you were a slow, irritable man. You just took your anger out on me, alright? So make sure you don't ever do that again. That's all I gotta say about that. Just seeing a lot of military-related buildings lately. Look, after we get hit a run, I'm going to switch to learning or scholarship focus just to increase the cultural fascination progress, because I feel it's about that time. Also, I ought to educate that child. Even though I'm not a martial thing person. No one rides it but me. You should look at traditions. Oh. Yipe. Because I feel it's about time that we... I mean, there's another slot for maximum cultural tradition, so we should have a look. I'm trying to think of something. I mean, we've been military intensive lately, but I need something to improve the economy. There's got to be something that would add more taxation, especially... Let me see. Ooh, that price lowering, not a good idea. But still, it's rather tempting just to see. Development growth. What else? Development growth, but less control and takes them longer. We used to have culture blending. Equal inheritance, equal gender is not a good idea unless if you have primogeniture, then it could be considered as a good idea. Forests are common, but there's no reason for that. Again, I'm just looking. We don't have any coastal counties, why would we? Eek. There are no wetlands except in this area, which tends to have wetlands, but our culture is not present there. Look at social. Seems like 7,000 is the max, because you don't have a certain ethos. That sounds like an idea, because this whole inspirations of these, I mean, we've been looking for better and better artifacts. So you could say, yes, we're good at horse breeding, but what about creating artifacts? Let's have that tradition. I mean, that sounds like a good idea, but keep looking. Martial admiration sounds quite like it because of who we are these days. Not to mention, it just shows that we're still sticking with our warlike roots. And knowing that knighthood is coming up, this is what I was talking about earlier. These are the ones. It's tier 2, tier 3, and there's tier 4. But they said they'll be more valued. Blade Master traits have additional bonuses. Craven and Content looked down upon. Knights are slightly more prone to injury during battles. May challenge rivals single combat, inflicting stress if you win. Plus, we'd be more resilient to injuries, and we have more knights to join. I might consider that if we're going to be those kind of people. I mean, you did say you want to cut costs in the military and you want to rely more on knights, then this is the one to get. Keep looking. Yeah. What the heck? No limit. Yikes. Feast, feast, feast. Who would want to do that? That's a great way to get obesity. We already have that. It's called Christianity. Unless we want to be polygamous. Unless you want to do this the Sogdian way, where all those religions within our culture, doesn't matter if you're a pagan or Orthodox or Catholic, no difference here. Costs more gold to sponsor characters' cultural weapon inspiration and use higher quality artifacts. And gain piety from barracks. What on earth? Does not have the accepted doctrine. Oh. So I guess it's much more useful if you're in parts of the Eastern world where witchcraft is much more accepted, like in India or in places where Zoroastrianism is around still. And to warfare. Gain gold from battles. 1 gold per 100 fatal casualties. So less prestige and fame from battles, but more for gold. It's a good idea in theory if you were a pagan and of a culture that's kind of going to stick with paganism for a good long while. So quite honestly, that's a good idea with this. But we're way past that. Oh god. Reduce the effectiveness and toughness to make up for maintenance reduction? Why can't I get the best of both worlds? Knights must have at least 12 prowess. Men-at-arms cost more. Oh my god. More number of knights while having a plus 100 effectiveness. You know, I think that does start to sound like us. In a way. We should do that. I mean, I don't know why I picked the Eastern Roman Legacy, but that's for men-at-arms maintenance reduction, which it does kind of turn out well for us. God dang it. I don't know which one I want. Only the strong or the other one. I mean, recruiting men-at-arms, which as in you hire one, costs you more money. But it does reduce the levy size a bit, which we don't need that many levies, to be honest, because we're still going to be an ever-expanding nation. But having more knights and more effectiveness. Okay, keep looking though. Reverence for veterans. Give bonuses to scarred, maimed, or one-legged. And guardians can transfer commander traits to their wards. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. Members of the clergy can serve as commanders and knights, and that includes, you know, our patriarch. But again, we're past that. Warriors by merit. Most restrictions who can be a knight are lifted for characters in 10 or more prowess. Knights gain blade master traits more often in battles. Winter warriors would be nice if you live up north, like the Sami. But, you know what? Because of who we are these days, I think we should go for only the strong. It'll cost you 4,000 prestige. It'll take you 19 years. So, knights must have at least 12 prowess. Blade master traits have additional bonuses. Martial education traits also grant prowess. But it'll cost you a little more to recruit men-at-arms if you wish to create them. You have additional number of knights again, but even more knight effectiveness while reducing the levy size of all of our holdings of our culture. So this culture places the strong emphasis on having a few well-trained warriors. If you're not the best of the best, you're not welcome to serve. That is who we are. That is who we are. We are establishing that tradition. And if you were to get up to late medieval, and I get one more. Again, we are horse lords, which we reduce the cost of our cavalry because they still have a role to play. We recognize talent. They have every right to prove, while we still like to have some cultural fascination. And as well as having a military organization that kind of resembles the Romans. But it's going to start being less of a organized military and be more of the best of these warriors. It's going to be the day when warriors become soldiers. Lark. I see a lark flying overhead. For a brief moment, I feel a sense of clarity and awe as it passes by the heavens. At least for 2 years. I'm hungry now. Lark stew or lark pie sounds tasty. Larks are songbirds of the family Aludidae. In the West, they are traditionally seen as the symbol of daybreak. For example, in Shakespeare's Sonnet 29, the narrator states, "Like to the lark at the break of day arising, solemn earth singing hymns at heaven's gate." It's about time that we hold court. Let me take a drink. My lady, my daughter Jelan speaks of, I propose a cadastral survey of all the counties you own. Improved knowledge and mapping of your land will certainly increase its prosperity. No one knows your lands and woods better than me. Let me help, intervenes my martial take-on-man. Oh, good God! I'm so overrated. I'm not gonna do that. Money's better spent elsewhere. As soon as it's his turn to speak, the agitated man fronted me screamed, "The end is nigh!" The signs are clear and everywhere. The county of Varric know it all too well. Disorders, bandits, thieves, violence, and disappearance of justice among men. A day of judgment is upon us. There's only one way to be saved. Chastity and purity. Renounce the temptations of the flesh. Repent now, for the day is nigh. I wouldn't mind becoming celibate because I'm at that age. So sure, salvation must be achieved through any means, so I'll be celibate. I should go on a pilgrimage one day, because I feel it's about that time. My lady, I represent the Slovene people of the county of Samogi. States Zemislav Blatnohradsky, a nobleman from Visegrad. We are devoted and faithful subjects, but our land is poor, underdeveloped, and scarcely populated. Please allow us to recolonize it and to administer it according to our traditions. Under your benevolent protection, our land could still prosper, and you shall gain a new faithful vassal. Oh, God. I know what's best for the county there, because I am the owner of it. Just when you were not stressed. God dog it. Got you. It's a ghost! Ah! He shouts, pointing at us. Him, ah, Bodhi screams. Cogged Butterton bursts out laughing. You should have seen your face. How craven. That wasn't funny at all. Because he's shy, right? And you ain't got nothing better to do? Stop scaring people, Khatun. It's not funny. Seems like he got nothing better to do. Overt overindulgence. This is for my 2 knights. My Khatun, your knight, Samsam, he just won't stop eating comfort. My son-in-law, Everhard stems. Right at this moment, I spot Samsam exiting the pantry carrying a pile of comfort in both of his arms. Is there something the matter, my liege? Sam says, frowning. By God, man, pull yourself together. He's not dissuaded and refuses to pay you back. Come on. This is not how you get into fighting shape. Occitano-Bavarian culture. Gotta pay the money for my heir. Speaking of heir, it's about that age that he's gonna start picking up those traits that I may have to give him. Even though I might get stressed for this. Okay, let's go to scholarship focus. So that way we could take this and that, so he can get additional skills, just to give him a better education for those chances. As well as continue the development of our land. Don't forget your philosopher culture. Scholarship focus is a must-have. Thank you very much, friend, because I fear the worst. We'll close this episode very soon. I know not a lot happened, but we're just setting up for, you know, for the future. Such as the knighthood. And, of course, the martial education. And then when my time comes, and when I pass, and the successor will lead, and then it'll be only the strong. It'll show that who we are. Which is, again, due to the lack of overall development of all of our land. I mean, some are more better than others. It's just we've been finding ways to try to reduce the cost of our military while relying on knights only. Want to make a chest? No. Not investing in. Oh, here we go. Stress reduction. You look tired, my lady. My jester Emmerich says. I know the cure for that. It's called East of the Indus. East of Indus. What do you say? We should start reading. Back to sit me down. It's an amazing text. I really need this break. He even does different voices for the characters. What talent. Think, think, think. What am I missing? You know what, let's develop that capital again. Because we're in the middle of developing and we gotta develop it, damn it. I'll get the stress down in just a moment. By holding a grand feast. Because it's about that time. high table breaks. The great table seating the upper nobility on the dais gave a loud crack. A moment later it gave in under the weight of food and gilded decoration. As our most distinguished guests, I had to be fitted among the lower nobility. I ended up close to my Marshal Duke Tigme. Duchess Ozgol took it poorly, however, and told everyone it's a grave injustice to be seated with lords and ladies fairly better than commoners, acting well quite the opposite. Count Daniel displayed grace and humility among his lessons. Tigme and I ended up talking all evening, and agreed that should not be the last time we feasted and laughed at each other's company. What a great night. You know, when we first met, you hated my guts, but now we have a friendship. What a man he is. And got some of that intrigue back, despite the fact that I'm a contrite, because I have a guilty conscience. I took Karan out with playing with the bow. To my surprise, he ran into a wounded doe. He showed me the animal. Its wounds were evidence of a slow and torturous death. He just smiled. I'm nodding my head. It is just an animal. Yeah, that boy's going to be quite different. I can see that in his future. Where he says, only the strong shall serve the Avarian army. And by God, we'll make it happen. Especially when we get more courtiers, more knights joining. And they'll have valued warlike courtier to improve their skills even further. On in. Should get a new physician. Thanks to my very high learning skill, this Georgian woman is widely known in scholarly circles, even though she's... Oh, I don't know, she'll be around for long. Well, God dog it. But she's a renowned physician as compared to a physician and a scholar. Okay. We'll have that one instead. Also, I just noticed that name change down there. It's no longer called Zagreb, the county. It's Anatolia, because he took the Dalmatian part of that name. Byzantine heritage he picked, by the way. I should consult with more priests. We'll end this episode when we pick up this perk, as we continue to develop Visegrad. There's still plenty more monthly development growth. It's farmlands. And before we get out of here, as a reminder, 6 years. Now, 5 years. It's a small difference, but it's a start. So I will be around at that time to get knighthood, and then when my son, who is 10, luckily he'll be 15 by the time we get knighthood, and he will be the first one to pick up the a knighthood trait. And not to mention, little more knight effectiveness to go along with who we are going to become in the future for only the strong. This will make up whenever certain things that I'm not around anymore. Like, say, if I'm not really a martial-oriented ruler, but we know my son is going to be one day. He's going to continue on this tradition for us. And so we hope you people have enjoyed this episode. I mean, there was not a lot of action, but plenty of events. And as well as setting up of the future of what kind of military reform that we are holding in the Carpathian Cognate. In a sense of we're relying less on levies and slightly less on men-at-arms, but relying more on elite knights, as if they are special forces, and now we are making them indeed so. Who knows, maybe they can all take on a 5,000 strong army one day. Who knows? Or maybe perhaps I could see us one day, and oh good, he took Istria. And maybe, just maybe in the future, hypothetical. I mean, yeah, the prestige per knight part, but can you imagine level of fame impact, which means not only prestige gain for each and every one of them for the secular opinion, but also number of knights to add that along with the already benefits. Holy crud. I think I see the future of what Karan is going to be, despite the fact that he's a bleeder. It may have been a result of, like cousin marriage. He may not be inbred, but I guess it's just one of the alteration of the genetics. I mean, it tends to happen. Take what you could get. But he's robust. And we hope down the line, none of the children and children's children will be bleeders. So, we hope you people have enjoyed this episode, especially with these military-related ideas I came up with for this part of the High Medieval era and all that and more. But until then, until the next war of expansion in the future, wherever it may be, even though I may be looking westwards. But until then, so long for now.